Do you know that craft supplies in the U.S. in 2024 reached over $13 billion? $13 billion. Who knew? I'm Vicki with Avante-Avenue and welcome to our channel. This video is about what's sold as far as craft items, craft kits, craft patterns, and this video is a mix of average sales just to show you the low end of things and some higher profit making sales. But all the sales in this video, our sales, fall into one category, and that is crafts. I don't know how long you've been following our channel, but I have mentioned in the past that when I started selling on eBay 20 years ago, I started out with a lot of craft patterns, craft leaflets, craft booklets, needle crafts, sewing patterns, and of course I sold some Christmas and figurines and things as well. But I pretty much had gotten away from that niche. I'd moved away to glassware, pottery, brass, wood, more home decor items. But this year I had been picking up a lot more patterns, and of course I still have a couple of drawers full of patterns that I can list, and I did list some of those this year, and I've been really surprised with our sales. So I thought I'd put this video together and share with you what's sold in the craft category, and for most of the items, how I packed it. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And it's a wide variety of items. Of course, you know, needlepoint, needle crafts. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that fall into the craft category. With that said, let's get started. The Vintage Spool, Romantic and Timeless Quilt Design by Verna Mosquera. Vintage Valentine, Medallion and Borders. Originally $64. We found this in a thrift store near Bryson City, North Carolina. I think I'm going to take a chance on this pattern, Vintage Valentine quilt pattern by Vintage Spool. Originally $64, they want $1 for it. I'm going to take a chance on that. And I probably should look this one up. Although I have to say, I think the quilt pattern itself might be missing out of it. I'll have to maybe do a little more research. It's brand new. I checked everything to make sure all the patterns were enclosed to make all these designs. Did I say I paid only $1 for it? Sure did. And it sold on offer $40 plus ship. I'd say that's a pretty good profit. And of course, latch hook kits, you know, they still sell. Just make sure the kit is complete. It's very hard to sell a latch hook kit that's been opened because it could be hard to tell if everything is there or not. Sold a Rugworks latch hook kit for an oval rug. Colonial Floral 19 by 28. And it's new, sealed. I paid $4.99 at a thrift store. We're here and it's open. Let's see what this is all about. Let's go find out. I came back over to the fabric and needlecraft corner and I found this Rugworks heirloom hooking to make a rug, 20 by 30. Originally $25, marked down to $5.99. It's going for about $29. And then here's another one. This one's only $4.99. And it's sold on offer for $30 plus ship. And it should fit in this eBay box. It's 12 by 10 by 8 just fine. It's a little higher than I need, but I'll just fill it in with some air pillows. Air pillows on the bottom, the latch hook kit, and some air pillows. And then I have these large air pillows from Amazon order, so they should work good. If you are unfamiliar with the term needlepoint, anything that requires a needle can be considered a type of needlecraft. Here are just a few. Applique, crewel embroidery, crochet, cross stitch, hand embroidery, ribbon embroidery, knitting, needlepoint, patchwork, quilting, and quilt art. Charles Craft cuts fabric, muslin fabric, to make dolls, sometimes Cabbage Patch dolls. I paid only 35 cents for all of this material. There are 5 packs They're 18 by 60 inches, pieces of fabric. I bought them at a church rummage sale, paid 35 cents for all of it. Oh, it's a little small. Thank you though. This is fabric to make dolls, soft sculpture dolls, craft cuts. It's new old stock, and they have 25 cents on that pack and 10 cents on that pack. Put that together as a lot. All 5 packs, and it's sold on offer for $25 plus ship. Easy to pack. I'm just using a padded envelope. I have an air pillow on the bottom, and I'll put an air pillow at the end and close it up. And then there's bead embroidery, needle felting, and punch needle. We sold some punch needle patterns. Not a lot of sales so far, but that's okay. I'm not in any hurry. I still sell some craft patterns here and there. How to paint a glorious garden. Company is One Stroke. Designer is Donna Dewberry. I found it in some old inventory that I hadn't put up. It's sold on offer for $15 plus ship. Let's pack this painting leaflet. I like to put them in a clear plastic bag just to keep it nice, you know, in case the envelope gets wet. I think the buyers like it too. I get good feedback. Thank you label that I run 30 up on a sheet of labels. You've seen those plenty of times. I have a brown craft envelope here. Well, it may not be craft brand, but it's a brown envelope. Now, here's the thing. I have to beef this envelope up with some more packing material, and this is why. I have this template from the post office. If it can fit through here, it doesn't qualify for tracking. Basically, that's what it is. It has to be thicker than 3/4 of an inch to qualify for tracking, and some postal clerks will call you out on that. Even my favorite one calls me out on that. Well, she did till I stopped doing it, so I need to put some more packing material inside of here. So I have some bubble wrap, just half sheet. I'm going to fold it in half and put it in here. Just to beef this up a little bit. I know it looks weird, but that's what I have to do. It's what any of us have to do, or we risk, I don't know what we risk. Maybe we risk that we'll be charged extra for tracking. I do put tape over this. So how did I do? Can it fit through here now? They would have to force it. So now it's good. It's good to go. 2 sales from our Avante Attic store. Both of them are Annie's Attic, interchangeable flowers to crochet, and snowflakes. The flowers to crochet was $5.95 and the snowflakes $9.95. The total sale came to $15.90 plus ship. Some other crafts that have been popular in 2024 that are not needle crafts: wood burning, candle painting, perfume making, that one surprised me, one-time pottery wheel workshops, can hardly say that, tufting, I think of pillows when I think of tufting, and vintage cake decorating. I'm not up on all the crafts going on, so I had to look some of it up. But punch needle embroidery has been very popular in 2024, as well as embroidery on anything: clothing, accessories, quilts, knit and crochet garments, and even photographs. Photographs? Who's embroidering on photographs? I'm not making this up. I found this out in my search. Do you know anything about it? If you do, leave a comment. We sold our first lot of embroidery floss to one of our subscribers. Thank you very much, Jerry. She bought the 24 count DMC lot of shades of gray. It's pretty quiet in here. It's the second day of the sale and we missed it yesterday. And so I'll be shocked if there's anything really good left. What do I have in here? And a whole bunch of embroidery floss in bags. I have a feeling whoever had this kit was a teacher, because they organized these and numbered them, and my decision is how am I going to list them, as one big lot or by color. I'm not sure. and it was on sale for $21.59 plus ship. Thank you so much for your purchase and for supporting our channel. Woohoo! This sale was in our eBay store, Avante Attic. It's an Annie's Attic cuddle cocoons. Aren't these cute for little babies? I probably have 25 cents into it, and it sold for $6.95 plus ship. Pattern leaflets and small booklets go into a plastic bag. It's resealable, the peel-off pad. Avante-avenue thank you label. Put it in an envelope. That's too thin to qualify for tracking, so I'm going to add some bubble wrap. I have a half sheet. I'll fold it in half. Press the tape down, and it's good. Someone asked not too long ago, they asked me, what is a craft leaflet? Why do you use the word leaflet? It was something new to them. I consider something like this a bifold pattern. Bifold pattern, a craft leaflet. But if the pattern has several pages, but it doesn't have a binder on it, I call this a craft booklet. Many of these older patterns don't have an ISBN number. This one doesn't have anything. This one does have a barcode. But typically, I call it a book if it has a binding and it has many pages in it. Then I might refer to it as a book. A bifold is a leaflet, or it might have a center page to it. And then several pages I call a booklet. And then lots of pages with a binding is a book. In my book, it's a book. Still selling some patterns. This is Simplicity Costumes for Women. We have this in our Avante Attic store, and it was a listing with variations. The pattern sold for $9.95 plus ship, and I only list uncut sewing patterns. Otherwise, it's impossible to know if everything is there. Quite easy to ship. I just put it in a plastic bag. It's resealable. Put an Avante Attic label on it. Going to see if it will fit in this padded envelope. And it does. Is it thick enough? If it fits through the slot, it's not thick enough. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. So I need to put some bubble wrap in here. This is just some old, crappy, and yes, I mean crappy bubble wrap, but I can fit it in here and beef this up a little bit so that it's too thick to go through that slot. Soda pattern, McCall's Crafts. This is a Sesame Street little Muppet pattern. It's not in very good condition, but I bought it anyway after checking sold comps. I paid 49 cents for it at the AmVet store and sold it for $13.50 plus ship. Just mailing it in a padded envelope. When it comes to sewing patterns, for years now, I only sell patterns, sewing patterns that are factory folded patterns. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look. What I mean by factory fold is that the tissue patterns within the pattern envelope have the appearance that they've never been opened. They've never been opened. They've never been cut. This is factory fold. And yes, sometimes the instructions are a little bit yellow depending on the age, but here's another tip for you. If you bought a batch of patterns to list, don't assume that just because the pattern is 0637 and it shows this on the pattern, please do not make an assumption that what is inside is this exact pattern. Sometimes the wrong pattern and or instructions get put into the pattern envelope. It happens. So because these are not sealed, they've always been open so that you could look inside. That's how they've always sold them in the stores, except sometimes at thrift stores they tape them. But always open it up and make sure that, how can I show you here? 0637 and the pattern, this one has two numbers, but 0637, make sure that number is on everything. Because the day that you get a message from your buyer that says, I ordered such and such pattern, but that's not what I got, that's what may have happened. You didn't inspect the contents within the pattern envelope to make sure they matched. I'm telling you, it does happen. Better safe than sorry. And when I photograph sewing patterns, I'll lay this up and photograph it this way, and then I will open it up and photograph this, maybe along with this, and then I photograph the back, and sometimes I zoom in on it so that the buyer can see how much material they'll need and also some measurements and things that are on the back. So I take all those photos when I'm listing patterns. I hope that helps. We sold a Leisure Arts plastic canvas pattern that I thought would never sell. It's door signs, but it did in our Avante-Avenue store, and it sold for $4.95. Woohoo! I don't even know if it will make the video. $4.95 plus ship. This was a fast sale. Plaid Bucilla felt chair topper, new kit, senior claws. Bought it at Goodwill, $3.99. The checkout line is crazy, and we're going to look around. $2.99. Some kind of pottery. 'Tis the season. Start thinking about getting more Christmas stuff to list. What's that? Who made it? It's got a chip. Candy stars. I'm gonna pass. Thank you. What's this right in front of us? Bucilla kit for $3.99. It feels sealed. I'll have to check comps for that though. Yeah, I'll have to check comps. Bought it at Goodwill for $3.99, and it sold on sale for $12.99 plus ship. It's getting packed in a poly mailer, and if I need to, if the poly mailer is not long enough, I'll just put another one on the end. It made it. Be very careful when you're buying any kit to resell, especially if it's opened. I picked up two of these cat squirrel embroidery kits by Dimensions, and got home and realized that they were open. And they sat for quite a while before I took time to look at them, because I knew there was a risk that they may not be complete. So I had to take everything out, check the instruction sheet, make sure it's all there, including something that's often missing from kits, the needle. It's not to say that a buyer doesn't have a needle on hand that they can use, especially if they do this type of craft. But if the kit says there should be a needle there, well, then there should be a needle there. So do be careful when you're buying open kits. I suggest you take the time in the store or at the sale and go through it and make sure everything is there, as well as checking, sold and active comps, but make sure everything's there, including the instructions and the needle and all the yarn. This sale is Avante-Avenue, our other eBay store. It's a lot of 2 plastic canvas patterns, one for reindeer and one for little houses. Yes, they still sell. The lady and I went round and round. She couldn't seem to purchase 2 and check out properly. Something wasn't working right on eBay, so I created a reserved lot, sent her link, but you had to copy and paste the link into the browser, and she didn't know how to do that, and I didn't know if she was ever actually going to purchase or not. But she did. I have about 10 cents into most of these, and the 2 count lot sold for $8.42 plus ship. I think I can fit 2 in here. Yep. Peel and stick. I don't know if they see that and reuse it or not. Of course, I need an Avante-Avenue label on this one, and I use a craft envelope, but I can't ship it like this. I need to tighten it up a little bit because it just fits. Just another reminder that for packages to qualify for tracking, it needs to be thicker than 3/4 of an inch, and you can see here that this is not. It goes through way too easy. Therefore, take some large 1/2-inch bubble wrap. I put one on the top, one on the bottom. I'm sure the buyer wonders why the heck I have, bubble wrap in here, but that's what I have to do to make it go like this where it stops, and then the clerk won't try to force it through. Some enforce this at the post office, some do not. It's called a shaped-based pricing template. You can always ask for one at the post office. We used to have a business, so it was easy to get this, but you can always ask for one. We sure don't want that getting caught in a sorting machine. And on the pattern leaflets, we always add a do not bend label to the back. and the front. This was a really nice sale. Seems Like Home. It's a Witch's Brew wall quilt by Joan Jones. Just the pattern, not the supplies. I paid $3.99 for it at a thrift store, and it sold on sale for $26.24. I'd say that's pretty good. And I'm mailing it in a padded envelope. We talked about this Madame Alexander doll that was in really, really bad condition. So I separated everything. I separated the clothing. Now this is not an original veil. It's much lighter than the dress, but you know, it's how the doll came when I found it. I even went so far as to take the wig off. Look at these little bobby pins. The necklace needs repaired. Took off everything. And the dress does have the Madame Alexander tag, New York, USA. So we took a chance. We separated the clothing from the doll parts. And I've had a lot of watchers on this, but it hasn't sold yet. I think it will sell closer to Halloween because I put creepy doll parts in the listing. But guess what? This lot just sold. She sent me an offer. It was an odd offer. She messaged me and asked me if I would accept $60.03. It was already on sale, but I thought, sure, why not? I paid $4 for the doll. The total sale came to $72.51 just for the dress and the accessories, including the hair. And the lady who bought this appears to be a doll collector, or perhaps she repairs dolls, but by her eBay username, she has the word doll in her username. And I'm just going to bag everything and put it in an eBay box that's 12 by 6 by 6. This is a great example of how we found money under our table. The Madame Alexander doll had been sitting under our table for probably a couple of years. We found $60, plus we still have the doll parts to sell. I placed 4 air pillows on the bottom. The dress and the veil is packed separate from everything else. And I'm adding 4 air pillows on top. I'll close it up and get it in the mail. If you're selling fabric for sewing or quilting or craft projects, typically when you buy it, they'll take the time to measure it. Do not trust their measurement. Always measure it yourself. And because it's often cut irregular on the end, make sure you only measure it to what you have a good straight edge and no further. And then bag it up for storage and put a little label on it saying how many yards it is. Maybe it's only half a yard, but make sure you measure it yourself. And the salvage here, well, sometimes you see 44 to 45 inches wide. Well, that's because of the salvage, so be careful on that too when you're doing your estimate. Personally, I wouldn't include the salvage in the measurement. Some of the fabric tells you, though, the brand and the pattern that they used. So there can be helpful information in that salvage. Had a crochet pattern sell in Avante-Attic, made by Annie's Attic. It's a handy dandy dishcloth pattern. Probably seen these before. It sold for $6.95 plus ship. Sold an American School of Needlework Christmas stocking knit and crochet pattern booklet. When I say booklet, typically it has, several pages. This one has 17. I probably paid 25 cents for it, and it sold for $4.95 plus ship. I will place it in a plastic bag, mail it in an envelope with some bubble wrap to be classified a package with tracking. Cross stitch is basically the intro level to needlework because it requires just one stitch. Well, I should say 2. There could be a half cross or an X, the cross stitch. That's where most beginners start, is with cross stitch. This was a really fast sale. Peanuts all year long. Cross stitch pattern. I have 25 cents invested in this Leisure Arts Peanuts pattern, and it sold on sale for $20.99 plus ship. Not bad. This cross stitch leaflet sold for over $20. I put it in a bag, which I always do, but this time I backed it with some cardboard. I'm also using an eBay padded envelope and some bubble wrap to make sure that the overall thickness is over 3/4 of an inch, so it qualifies as a package. We had a cross-stitch pattern sale in Avante Attic, Folksy St. Nick by Jeanette Cruz, designer Alma Lynn, sold for $7.95 plus ship. Sold a hot iron transfer pattern for Merry Christmas number 3124. It might say 80 cents, but I paid pennies for it because I bought a whole bunch of them at the AmVet store. At the AmVet store. Oh look, they have a little cart. A baby cart. That's all I need today, right? Looks pretty much the same. I don't think anything's changed too much. I spoke to the manager and I was able to work out a deal on these hot iron transfer for embroidery punch patterns. They're mixed patterns within a bag, originally 99 cents a bag. I think there's about 23 packs. And I made an offer of $10 and they accepted. And it sold for full asking price of $9.95 plus ship. And I'll just put it in an envelope with some bubble wrap to make the envelope thick enough to qualify for tracking, because it has to be at least 3/4 inches thick. I put a small piece of large 1/2-inch bubble wrap in there and it's good. It qualifies as a package. Another craft that I haven't mentioned in this video is a lot of people work with junk jewelry. Put it together, sell it as a craft lot, and maybe auction it off. But yeah, junk jewelry can sell as well. People make artwork with it. They make jewelry with it. Who knows what they do, but junk jewelry for crafting can sell. Wing and a prayer gemstone quilt pattern. All the sheets in the package. Paid 49 cents at the AmVets. All right, I'm still here in the AmVets and I've been going through a ton of patterns, tons and tons of patterns. I've only found a few that I'm going to buy because I don't want to take home a bunch of craft patterns if they don't have any value. So still here working. And it's sold for full asking price of $14.99 plus ship. I'm mailing it in a craft envelope with some bubble wrap to make sure it's thick enough to qualify as a package. And here are some more crafts that are popular in 2024, which I would expect to roll over to next year. Macrame, needle felting, paper flowers, vintage upcycling, that would be repurposing vintage and used clothing, handmade homemade tote bags to replace plastic shopping bags, resin art collages, which I think of as mixed media, and group crafting so people can connect. I tend to think that the craft craze really picked up during the, not allowed to say it, the big, I think when people were staying home and couldn't go out and do things, they took time to pursue their current hobbies or new hobbies that are craft related. At least that's what I think. But apparently it hasn't slowed down. Sold a cross-stitch kit that I just listed recently. It's in here somewhere. Somewhere. I just need to find it. This was a fast sale. Stamped cross-stitch baby collection. Mrs. Rabbit and Bunny's Quilt by Beatrix Potter. And we paid $7.99 at a thrift store. Red tag items 75% off. A little pricier than most thrift stores, but sometimes we find something. I'm still in the same section of the store. I'm in the crafts. This is hanging on the wall, a new sealed kit. Look at that. $7.99, that's paying up. But I have a sold comp for $50 on this. It sold on sale for $64.34. That was a fast sale. Wouldn't you say that's a woohoo? And I'm mailing the cross-stitch pattern in this really nice, heavy, padded envelope. This embroidery floss that I bought, that whole big kit for $5, you know, I've been separating it out into colors, shades of blue, shades of pink. Well, this one is multicolored because it was a special edition. I'm just going to say up front, that I think next time if I come across embroidery floss, I think I will only sell it if it's all new and unused, if I can tell. I think I only want to pick it up if I can actually tell that the skein has never been opened, because I had to market these as used instead of new because the majority of them had some threads pulled out of it. You know, I could just tell. Plus, it's been taking a lot of time to separate them by color for not a lot of profit. So my takeaway on this so far is I think I would just put it all together, all the colors, and sell it as one big lot, and hope I make some money on it that way. Because yes, you can make some money selling it individually, but it's very time consuming. Yeah, very time consuming. I sold 2 of these pretty punch transfer patterns, hot iron transfer patterns. I made a video about variation listings and talked about these pretty punch patterns that I picked up at the AmVet store. I got over 200 patterns and I got my money back out of them. It's not a lot per pattern, but we sold 2. We sold the horses and the carousel horse, $5.95 each, so it came to $11.90. They did get a discount of $1.19 because they bought 2, but they paid $17.82 total for these. But again, I bought over 200. A couple of options to mail. You can either put them in a plastic bag or wrap them in some type of plastic wrap. But I have these little bags, so I'm just going to put it in here just in case the outer envelope gets wet. I'm going to put them in this plastic bag along with my thank you note. Qualify for tracking. I'm going to put them eBay padded envelope with a scrap of large 1/2-inch bubble wrap to make sure that it qualifies for tracking. Easy sale, and we'll get it in the mail. I mentioned about craft supplies being over $13 billion in the US. Well, worldwide, how about over $79 billion worldwide? Maybe I should get some of our craft items set up for international shipping. You think? Do you remember the mouse stamps that I bought at our restore? We are here. It's late afternoon on a Friday. All craft books. Now, I donated tons of craft patterns last year. I don't think I ever really saw them put out on the floor, but these are more books than craft patterns. Magazines, American Quilter. I don't like to deal with magazines so much. I really want kits. That's what I want, kits. I'll go through the craft supplies here, and it never shows up well in video, but if I find something, I'll show you what I'm getting. I found this tote of house mouse designs. It's not Mises, it says mouse. And they're all used, but Mark's counting them up to see how many there are. I love the Mises to pieces. What? I love the Mises to pieces. Okay. We need to see how many we have, and then I'm going to ask if they'd make a deal if I buy all of them. How many did you find? Well, I counted 23. Plus this little thing, I guess. Thank you, 23, and this would be 24 pieces. Those are actually rubber stamps that you put on your own block. The 24. Okay, we asked the manager. I say it never hurts to ask. I asked him how much for all of them, and he said $3. Not $3 each, because they're only dollars. $3 for the whole thing. Woohoo! Well, this is a 12-count lot that I put together, and I have $1.56 invested in the 12 stamps, and it sold on offer for $45 plus ship. Woohoo! I'm going to mail these in an eBay box that's 10 by 8 by 6 with some bubble wrap. And something else that is selling for us, if you followed my reseller boot camp this year, you know that I bought a huge box of dollhouse furniture kits, X-Acto kits, that I found at a church rummage sale. Church rummage sale today. They haven't had this one for many, many years. Sorry about the noise of my cart. Last time we came to this, we came here 3 times. Good. A few things left. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 45 to 45. Oh my gosh. We should have been here at 7:30, I think. Oh my gosh. I just landed it. I just landed the gold mine here. I did. House of Miniatures furniture. Oh my gosh, I wonder how much it would cost to buy all of it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This stuff can be worth so much money each. Unbelievable. All right, I'm gonna ask. I added a miniatures catalog and some cedar shingles, and yeah, I'm going to see what they'll do. Average price is $2 to $3 on everything. So we'll see what they want. And I paid $1 each, and they're selling. I think I've made my money back already, and I have a lot more to sell. They've only been listed for a month, but let me show you our sales so far. We had our first sale of the House of Miniatures dollhouse furniture kits. I'm almost done listing them. I only have those to go and these, and I'm looking for 40040. Here it is. 40040. See how they're numbered there? They were extremely easy to research. Love that. 40040, 40040. Paid $1 for it. When you average out all that we bought that day at the church rummage sale, this is for a Chippendale open armchair, and it sold for $15 plus ship. I always had in the back of my mind how I was going to ship these and not have to put them in another box. I'm going to surround the box with some cardboard strips, and then I'll wrap it in some large 1/2-inch bubble wrap and put it in a padded mailer. I think you can see the cardboard that I put around it. I did get a longer piece. This one was a little bit short, but it's got cardboard pretty much all the way around to help keep it from crushing. And then into a padded envelope it goes, along with one air pillow to its side. We had 2 more sales of the House of Miniatures dollhouse furniture kits that I bought at a church rummage sale. One of them is number 40075. This one sold for, I think you'll be surprised, it sold for $29 and have $1 into it. Woohoo! Love that. Now I'm looking for 40080. I don't know how I got these out of order. I'll have to fix that because I don't want them out of order. The other one that sold is a book stand and pedestal desk. Paid $1 for it, and it sold for $20 plus ship. I think we're going to do okay on these. I paid $40 for all of them, and I have some in another box, and we've sold several so far, so really nice sales. And these went to different buyers. The dollhouse furniture kits, the X-Acto kits, came in 2 sizes. Most of what I have is this size, but some of them are larger. A couple of things about selling dollhouse furniture kits. There are a lot of them out there. So if you're going to sell these kits, you really need to take a close look at sold comps, both high and low, as well as active comps for high and low, and price it competitively, or it might sit there for a very long time. One thing I really liked about listing these is that most of them are sealed. Most of them are factory sealed, so I didn't have to worry about everything being here. Plus, each one has a number. Do you see the little number here and here? That made it so easy to look them up. But add to that, each one had a description here and here. Super easy and fast to find sold comps. And as I said, check active too. So new sealed was great and easy to photograph. I mean, it took a photo of the front. I didn't even bother with the back. Took a close-up photo. Took a close-up photo of the information here and one from the end so they could see that it's sealed. That's how I photographed these. However, we did have several where the boxes weren't sealed. They were open. And so we had to take all the contents out, inspect it, make sure everything was there, and photograph it that way. So it's still new open box, but what was really nice is when they were new sealed. And I found out that some of the buyers might be taking these and as their hobby, actually assembling the furniture and selling the finished furniture. I thought that was kind of neat. Or maybe somebody just found it from a dollhouse and they're selling it, but I do think there's somebody out there assembling the furniture and selling it as complete. So yeah, I really enjoyed listing these. We've sold several so far, and I would pick them up again for the right price. I guess I had 40 of them because I paid $40 and they were $1 each, so not too bad. I'm sure I didn't cover every type of craft in this video. There are so many. So I'm sure there's a whole host of other crafts I could name off here, but I think you get the gist of it. Crafts can sell. Craft kits, craft supplies, craft patterns can sell. I hope you take away some tips and ideas when you are outsourcing for things to resell, and spend a little time checking out the craft area, especially craft kits and seasonal and holiday. Thanks for watching. I'm Vicki with Avante Avenue, and Mark and I will see you soon.